Hey there. So it's been a little while. Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't. It's been a little while since I made a video, and a few things have changed, and I thought it was time to maybe dust off the old video camera and start making a few videos again. So a few things have changed since my last video. I moved, not too far, but across town. So living in a different house in a different area. Let's see, I changed jobs. Still doing the same type of work, still in the same industry, but have changed employers, and so that's a big change. As part of that, I switched back to Windows from a Mac. Let's see, I got this standing desk here, so I can stand up and do a little work. I guess the other thing that has changed is I left TickTick. So I thought I would just make a quick video and talk a little bit about what I've done, what I've been looking at over the last couple of weeks, couple of months, in regards to how I'm managing my tasks and my notes and things like that. So to start with, I didn't really have a reason to leave TickTick other than I just wanted to try a few things. So I think the first thing I saw was WorkFlowy. So I believe there was even some comments maybe on some of my videos of, hey, you should check out WorkFlowy. It's kind of easy to use, and so that's what I did. I went out and checked out WorkFlowy, and I actually really liked it as far as note-taking goes. So if you're not familiar with WorkFlowy, it's like an outliner. So it's just bullets, right? So you can bullet and a thought, bullet and a task, and you can indent and outline and things like that. And so it was very easy to use, and I really liked it, and I really enjoyed it. Kind of the problem I ran into with using WorkFlowy was that I have some tasks that are recurring, and it was difficult to do a recurring task with WorkFlowy. So that kind of set me out looking for something else then. So I thought, well, what else is out there that's kind of like an outliner? And I found Dianlist. So Dianlist was very similar to WorkFlowy in that it was an outliner, and you could do notes and you could do tasks, and it was very easy to use, and I could even do recurring tasks, and it was pretty easy. So I think the thing I didn't like about Dianlist, or not that I didn't like it, but maybe the thing that made it difficult to use was that it was hard to organize, hard to get organized. I don't think there was, and I'm remembering off the top of my head a little bit, and some of these things I used months ago, really. So Dianlist was one of them that I used maybe a couple of months ago, but I think that there wasn't a good way to get organized. I think that you could put tags on things, but you couldn't like put them in different lists. You couldn't look at things holistically like you can in TickTick, like in a Kanban view. So I kind of put Dianlist off to the side, and then I checked out AmpleNote. So AmpleNote is another one that I think people have left comments in my videos saying, hey, go check out AmpleNote. And AmpleNote is actually pretty cool. All these apps are pretty cool that I checked out. So AmpleNote, I really liked AmpleNote. There's a couple things that I really liked about it. Number one was they had something called the Jot, or the Daily Jot, where it was a specific list that you kept a daily note in. And I know other apps use daily notes and things like that, but AmpleNote specifically called it out as a daily jot, and it was very easy to create your daily jot and use it. So that was one thing. Another thing that I really liked about it was, you know, most task management apps give you some sample notes, sample tasks when you create a new account, and same with AmpleNote. But AmpleNotes had this graphic in here, and it was called the execution funnel graphic. And this graphic I really like. So you can see you start with your daily jot, You know, these are all the things that happen throughout the day, you know, whether it be a task or an idea or a meeting you have or anything just goes in your daily jot. And then from that, you kind of funnel down and you start creating notes. So what are the notes that are worthwhile to keep, that not just in a daily note, but in a long-term note or a longer-term note? And then out of that probably come tasks. So as you're filtering down from jots to notes, then you get to specific tasks or actionable items that you need to accomplish. And so those come next. And then from those tasks come calendar entries, or maybe calendar blocking is a better term, where you're scheduling time to complete those tasks. And so that was something really cool that I got out of using AmpleNote. What didn't I like about AmpleNote? Again, it was the same thing. It was hard to organize. They did not have lists other than the provided lists that they had, which were things like the daily jots, notes, tasks, and things like that. So how you organized was by tags. Now, they did provide the use of tag hierarchies, where you could have parent tags and child tags, and you could go several levels deep, and there's help documents that, you know, guide you on how to use those and how to set them up and how you can set up filters and things like that based on. And from what I read, some people really like that. I didn't catch on right away, and maybe if I would have given it a little more time, I would have caught on, and, you know, that would have been fine. But nonetheless, I set AmpleNote aside as well, moved on to something else called capacities. Now, capacities is something that I had never heard of until I came across it, and I don't even know where I came across it at, but I thought the idea behind capacities was also really cool. So with the capacities app, they had things called objects, and everything was an object. So there would be a task object, and there would be a notes object. And those are pretty basic, but beyond that, there was things like a people object. So you could, you know, list out people and have those people have certain attributes, you know, that you would, you could configure and you could set up. There was project objects, there was meeting objects, you know, so for any meeting you would attend, you could create a new record for a meeting object, and that meeting object could have, you know, different things, date of the meeting, you know, attendance, attendees of the meeting, meeting notes, and those would be different attributes of that meeting object. And so that was pretty cool. I thought it was a good idea. You could even create custom objects, right? Where you can create something that they didn't have, but it was your own object, and you could set up your own attributes for whatever that, you know, whatever attributes you want that object to have. And I think I even did that. And so what I found on using capacities, although I like the idea, and yeah, I've never used Notion, and I know a lot of people use Notion, but I've never really used it. But I know one of the downsides of using Notion is that you spend a lot of time setting it up. And that's kind of what I felt like with capacities. I think capacities might be like a baby Notion, where they provide a lot of framework, but you still have to set things up. And I found myself spending a lot of time setting things up rather than using the system. So maybe if I would have spent a little more time with capacities and kind of worked things out and learned the intricacies of the app and set up my system so that I knew how things worked, and maybe it would have worked. And I think that's true for any of these apps that I've just talked about. I think they were all good apps, and they all certainly had benefits to them. And if I would have spent enough time learning them and working with them, I'm sure I could use those as my system. So you might be wondering now, so what app did I end up on? And maybe you've already seen where this is going. So sorry for the clickbaity title of this video, but I went to TickTick, right? Because I already know TickTick. I know how TickTick works. I know the intricacies of the app. But along the way of trying those different apps, I picked up different things from each one, right? I picked up, maybe using outlines from WorkFlowy and Dianlist. I picked up maybe using a daily note from AmpleNote. I picked up kind of the idea and concept of using objects from capacities. And so what I've tried to do is incorporate them into my TickTick system. And my plan is, on my next video, I'm going to show you how I've set up TickTick now that I've kind of gone through checking some different apps out over the last few months and getting a few different ideas. I've set up my TickTick in a way that I don't think I've seen anybody else set it up quite like this. And so I kind of want to show you guys what I've got going for me right now. You know, so that'll be the next video, but I thought I would, like I said, dust off the old video camera since it's been a few months since I made a video, and kind of get back in the swing of things, just telling you about what I've been up to the last couple months. So hope to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.